Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. First things first, I'm drinking a cup of tea, and my tea bag today says celebrate your successes and failures, both required great courage. Need I say more? The channel music message today, yes, I have one, is Indigo by Chris Brown. Now, it's a song that I definitely like, and I love it actually. It's one of my favorite songs of his, go figure, because it's pretty layered, in terms of it speaks a lot to divine union, soulmate energy, kingdom spouse, if you can see it that way. I mean, some references in there. There's some that may be a little bit more religiously rigid, may not see his kingdom spouse, but I would want my kingdom spouse to see me in this way. But soulmate energy, twin flame, sacred union, all that good stuff. To me, I mean, I don't listen to the song all the time, but when you really get into the lyrics, it's just a different depth to his expression of love in a more spiritual sense than the pop experience that you're used to with Chris Brown. Although I don't know his whole catalog, that's just how I connect to it. So, it's that one, baby, what you wanna do tonight? What you got for me to try? We ain't letting up our vibe. Sit fire is a vibe times 10. You know that one? Green rolled up in leaves, yellow mood ring, purple like a beam. My dream in indigo. And I'll leave it there. It goes deeper though, and as he's talking about, their frequency, and yeah, of course it's like sensual and all of that too, but what does he say? That's my baby, she woke, she my little cheat code, and when I'm with her, we grow, something like that. And he's talking about her light and how she glows, and he, even in one regard, he says something about I still believe that we don't die. So many questions, don't know why. When I'm with you, I feel alive. Or somewhere in there, he says something about I knew you. I think I knew you from another life or something like that. I'm gonna post the one hopefully with the lyrics, so you can see what I'm saying. And who doesn't love a good Chris Brown ditty? You know what I'm saying? Like, who are you if you can't do a little jig in some regard? But anyway, I'll post it on the community tab. I'm sure if you are in the vein or era of that culture, you're probably familiar with it. But I'm gonna try to post the lyrics because that's what's most intriguing to me as the music message today, because it's saying to me that someone, either you or someone else, is really valuing the energy that you offer, that light that glows within you, that inspiration that you carry. Maybe it even impresses upon someone else to be better in some way, shape, or form, or to stay on track, to stay focused. But there's something special about you, no matter what you look like, what you do, what you've been through, how much money you have, how you dress, whatever. None of the superficial things are really. I mean, he does make some references to the body, but even with that, it's like yoga fit body. You know what I mean? So even with the activity that you do to stay fit, there's still some spirituality and balance even in that. So it's somebody that's just really appreciating the totality of a woman or whomever the object of affection may be. If it's you, or you again appreciating someone else, there's that here today. So receive that as you will, in its purest form. Hopefully we'll see what the cards say today. Let's actually see. As I said, let's see what's on the bottom. Ten of Swords is the end of sabotage, or maybe what it could, I've been seeing this card a lot lately as self-sabotage. So maybe, and to the point of the teabag message, maybe you needed to hear today that you're not the measure of your failures or your successes, that there's something deeper within you that makes all the difference. And perhaps it's that courage that the bag speaks to, about it taking courage to face either one. So no matter how you may have tried and triumphed or maybe fallen short, that it's the courage that you have to keep going, to keep shining that light, keep glowing, as a matter of fact, to the point of the song, that is mostly high valued, or most highly valued, not just from a spiritual sense, but obviously that someone has some admiration for it, or at least acknowledgement of it. So maybe this is a message to release yourselves from no sabotaging, or that you have, perhaps, congratulations, because this is the end of a cycle of self-sabotage mentally and psychologically. You may have incurred some great resistance by way of mental intrusion or projection, or even this is the sense of what I said, sabotage, but betrayal, more or less, where maybe some projections from the outside have given you a certain impression about yourself as to what is truly valuable or not of you. But take heart that there's someone that sees you, and if it's just the universe alone, or the spirit, the supreme source, God, that you, whatever you submit to, that recognizes that you are special, you are a light, and you can release yourselves of every single idea of downfall that you may even measure yourself by, because there's so much more on the horizon, so many more opportunities for you to express who you are. Look at that. That's the Sun card. Bam. Starting off in a high vibration. Yeah, I like it. And this is like past experiences. Let me get a sip. This is like past experiences, that nostalgia that I'm speaking of, where maybe relationships haven't always been in the best light. Maybe your track record and commitment, or in the choices that you made, or maybe actually even family, because Six of Cups is definitely familiar. It can be old relationships or past experiences, but it could also even be family. So maybe over the course of your maturation, you haven't had the most favorable experiences to affirm you, to make you feel like you are that one, you are that girl, that man, however you want to receive it today. This is the Sun card here, that is the greatest expression of light that one can actually begin with in this reading. It's that beam of light that Chris is talking about, that glow from the inside out. It's an ordinance of shine that only comes from a spiritual essence. It's not considered a sun. It's not tangible by our means, at least, but it's very much so felt, and it definitely makes an impact. It nurtures, it grows things. We can't really live without it, at least not in this reality. You definitely even feel a deficiency when you don't have enough of it, i.e. in the winter time, or on a rainy day when your mood is a little bit lower. This is the expression, you see the baby in the card, that to someone you are a shining light, a vibrant source of vitality, that you bring freshness and newness to their experience of life. Even if it's someone that's perhaps reminiscing about a connection that they once shared with you, maybe perhaps even wishing for it, to return, or hoping for a reconciliation in some way, shape, or form. It's on account, certainly, of how valuable your energy is. So in that regard, be mindful. I'm always going to say this, be mindful, because everybody that has a desire to be in connection with you, or even a so-called commitment to you, isn't the most vital to your source, even as you may be vital to theirs. Sometimes the Six of Cups, it can definitely be sweet love. It can even be, as I said, a reconciliation between lovers that not only have a past experience, but have a past life experience, which is even more powerful, especially with the Sun card here. So it could be that deep, that someone that you've shared other realms of reality, another dimension, another timeline with is recognizing you in that regard. It's like they see your light and it's familiar to their soul, and they want to be perhaps reunited or reconnected with it, or connected to it in a whole new way if it's something fresh, so that's beautiful. And I think that as I'm seeing, here's the most attractive queen, the Queen of Wands. This is someone that's seeing you. Yes, it's somebody from a distance that's watching you and is very attracted to your energy. That, as I said, it's on account of some nostalgia. So you may know this person, but they certainly are familiar with you. So even if you don't know them, I feel like with the Six of Cups, there has to be some familiarity there. It wouldn't necessarily just be somebody that is admiring you from afar, unless, like I said, it could be like a past life situation that you've never physically met this person, but you guys have some type of synergy from, another existence, and they recognize you. And perhaps they're seeing, it's like maybe you are on a public platform, maybe you are, or you're somebody has caught a glimpse of your social media or YouTube right here on this platform here, or they've even seen you in passing, but you didn't notice them. I'm getting all these downloads, but it could be any which way. That the main point is that somebody is very attracted to you. And with the Queen of Wands, sometimes especially given this, like, he's kind of looking the opposite way too in this regard. But with the Queen of Wands, sometimes what I feel is that she often is kind of wrapped up in her own passions. Any of the fire signs, which would be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but heavy on the Leo, especially with the Sun card. Sometimes they could be wrapped up in their own world, just being the light of the world in their own regard, not with no regard to anyone else, really and truly, or not holistically so, and not in a bad way, but just being themselves. They're not even realizing the impact that they truly are making on their surroundings, because it's usually pretty authentic in the highest vibration. It's not like forced, Of course, in the lower vibration, you run the risk of those that are overly ambitious or, doing things for attention for the most part. But in a high vibration such as this, it's just somebody who's just glowing in their natural God-given essence. You know what I mean? Their own little magic. They walk in the room, they don't even notice who's looking because they're focused on whatever they came in the room for in the first place, And also, but, on the sideline with Leo energy, there also can be a confidence behind that, and even an intention to glow behind that, you know what I mean? Like to be the star that you are in a sense, but not in a way that is an imposition per se. It's just natural, So again, there's people that see you, or I just heard want to be you, but like see you, never want to be. See you and want to be you. I think that's how that rang out in my head. But perhaps that too, and that would be the adverse of this Page of Swords energy here, where people are absolutely watching and looking with admiration, and some of them perhaps with a little bit of contempt, or maybe not contempt. What's the balance between that? I don't know. It's kind of hard. There's really not much of a balance between the scales of the Page of Swords, because it's either someone just observing you or someone stalking you. Like it's really not much room for error in between. So there's that. Like I said, be mindful that you are a light. There's no way to hide the sun, even when the clouds are covering it. There's still that energy that emits through that shield, So even on your bummiest day or your most low key, you think you being incognito and low key and your sweats and your hair pulled back, and all the while you looking like a snack to somebody. And the Queen of Wands energy right here, you feel me? Like the Queen of Wands is definitely that energy with the Sun card, that has a lot of admirers, a lot of potential suitors, or at least interest in connecting with her. And it doesn't have to be all intimate. People that have this type of energy, they're vibrant in the sense where, they're exciting and they carry a certain exuberance that you want to be around. You know what I mean? Consider again the light of the sun. Not too many people, even if you don't want to be burned by the sun and you take precautionary measures, there aren't too many people that just hate the sun, that don't want no parts of it at all. That there's still the vitality there. So it's a source, all that to say, that is coveted in some regard, appreciated highly. All right, let's see here. Oh, I'm just fumbling and bumbling. Hold on, let me get it together. All right, let's see. Maybe somebody nervous. That's why they standing at a distance, because they're nervous to approach you. This kind of went weird. I'm not going to take it, but this kind of, you saw it. I'm sorry you saw it. Somebody wants to make an offer to you or wants to approach. Yeah, this is that. They want to approach you, but maybe they feel like there's a disparity between what they have to offer and the value of you. This is really equal give and take and a balanced exchange, maybe even a gift that someone wants to offer. Yeah, and they're planning to do so, but there's still some either hesitance, reluctance, or just caution, with it all. With the Justice card here, this is the balance, because they want to present themselves as like the most fair, balanced offer. Like they want to give you pound for pound. Look, the Empress, my goodness, damn, what's this? Damn, like, wow, the Empress and the Queen of Wands with the Sun. Like somebody is fine as hell. You fine as hell, and you definitely are like I said, looking like a snack, but also looking like wifey, like baby mama to somebody. That's the Empress card here. Like somebody sees great value in what you have to offer. They don't just see you as because here's this with the Queen of Wands. She can sometimes be the object of sensuality, dare I say lust, so your loins could maybe be more attached to her than even your heart could be at times, and vice versa, because like I always like to say, the Queen of Wands is definitely down for the adventure in some vibrations of her character, not in all, and usually not so with the Queen, because she's a little more self-controlled and contained, especially with the Empress. That's somebody that knows the value. Like they know, like what he say? It's a vibe times 10. That's PUSSY, fire. It's a vibe times 10. That's what this energy is. A vibe times 10. We got the 10, 1, 10, which ultimately is what is that? 18 for the Sun card. Is that right? 19, sorry, 19 for the Sun card. But the 10, 1, the X1X is exactly that. Like it's a vibe, you know what I mean? Being around your energy. So this is somebody that knows, like I said, a Leo energy knows their essence, even if it's, inflated in a sense compared to others. Like that's what they're here for. They're here to be a light and to shine accordingly. So it doesn't really matter what you consider, what you think about it. And so this, you may even know, which is maybe perhaps why that was the 10 of Swords, as I said, the ending of those self-sabotaging mental ways and blockages, even from other people trying to damper your confidence or tell you that you're less than, oppress, that oppress your light and your glow, and you actually being in agreement with it, just as we are often impacted by our experiences and by our projections, even if we don't want to be, and even when it's sometimes subconscious, which I can also get with in that 10 of Swords, that there may have even been some subconscious suppressions and oppressions and depressions about self that have been on account of those experiences that you didn't even realize you had been submitting to, that you had been living through. As I said, walking in the room and not even knowing how vibrant and how vital and priceless your energy is, because you're still operating on some old timeline or energy or pattern about who you're not. Like get into it. This is who you are, whomever you are. Even the masculine energy, like it's like it speak even as a masculine. First of all, the sun itself is not masculine. It's very, I mean, it's not feminine. It's very masculine. So there is that. That means you can get with it too. Consider the king, the queen of the jungle, and that Leo energy. And also with that fifth house energy about being very confident and secure in the expression of your sensuality, even your sexuality, not in a vile or vulgar way, but just in the essence of who you are. The Empress and the Queen of Wands is, first of all, the most powerful queen in the deck, the most confident and creative queen in the deck with the Queen of Wands. This is the expression of that unapologetically, so where you believe that you're almost entitled to the recognition and the accolades and the maybe, dare I say, adoration, maybe even worship. I mean, I don't know, or at least gifts and honor. Let's say it that way, like honor, not worship in the, in the blasphemous sense, but I'm gonna speak about my ideas of the word worship, even in regards to self and others, because I don't really stigmatize it in that way, but it might feel a little icky to say like you're worthy of worship, and if I just throw it out there and leave it, just leave it on the table and go. But in essence, is you being worthy of the honor and the grace, and respect that you embody, and that you obviously incite from the outside in, that people see you as something really special. So you should absolutely see yourself in that reflection. The Empress, there's not much to be desired in that regard, where you are infinitely abundant, prosperous, and productive, and you're self-contained, self-controlled, confident, and also submissive to life in the ways that you should be, in the ways that are beneficial to you. But the balance here, the justice, fair, honest, upright, again, honorable, integral. So it's not someone that's walking around, especially with the Queen of Wands, unjustifiably wielding her sensual force, like someone that is seductive per se with her essence or her glow. Somebody that definitely knows she got it, but is not using it as a detriment to anyone else or to create any imbalance unnecessarily or unjustifiably. I love this for you, for whomever, you know what I mean? This is amazing. And let me bring it back to the point that this is how someone is seeing you. So if you are not seeing yourself this way, it's definitely time that you do, because somebody's looking and they want to come in, and I'm getting the sense they want to express all of this attraction and appreciation and an honor for, I'll take those, an honor for who you are. Like, look, somebody's tripping, they this is all they're thinking about with the Nine of Swords, or thinking about the possibility, God forbid, of you being with someone else. And the Nine of Swords to the Ten of Pentacles, because they're recognizing you as the ultimate gift here. Now, again, I say, I'm going to keep on saying it because I got the Seven of Cups here. Now, I'm seeing it as multiple. What I'm really feeling, I'll give you the high vibe first. I'm seeing it as someone that either knows you have hella choices, and is maybe perhaps thoughtful about whether or not they would be your supreme choice, that you would see them as the gift and the ultimate prize, like they see you, the one that they want to have a family with and build life with and legacy and have babies with, perhaps with the Empress card for sure. Somebody wants to get you pregnant, like hands down. But so there's that, right? This essence, like this is the anxiety here in a sense, because they're thoughtful about how to approach you in the best way, because they want this so bad. They've even been working on, like, this to me is like transformation here with the Death card in the positive sense. Like, they've been going through some type of changes and maybe even healing from some past experiences of their own. Remember, the beginning T message is about successes and failures, perhaps, and the song is about relationships and about identifying somebody that you see as like your mate, your soulmate, your one. You know what I mean? They see you in such a high light as the Queen of Wands, as the Empress, as the sun, the vitality in their very existence, for crying out loud, that they've been they've been committed to some great deal of transformation to ultimately, like, really express themselves in their best light to match your vibe. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody that really reverences you in the way that the song kind of speaks of, and in the way that the cards are saying, which I'm so grateful for this little message today, I am, wants to be able to say that they've kind of eliminated maybe their 10 of swords, in a sense, like really transformed from those cycles of toxicity and mental instability or trauma even, whether it was personally induced or externally imposed, whatever the case may be. You probably, if this is a soulmate type of situation, you probably are mirroring each other almost pound for pound, picture to picture in experience. So where you've had some missteps and misfortunes, maybe they have too, and it's caused some sleepless nights, some anxiety, some inner turmoil and conflict to some degree about not just what is, but what could potentially be. Because with the Nine of Swords is sometimes somebody who, on account of past experiences, maybe not even so, but it can be connected to that. But really it's about being anxious about the future, about things that haven't even occurred yet, or some impending opposition, or not opposition, some impending fate. You know what I mean? So they have dreams and aspirations for all this goodness, but perhaps are still feeling a little bit nervous and anxious about effing it up. You know what I mean? Like, quite plainly, like, they want it so bad that they don't want to F it up. They see so much value in it that, God forbid, their insecurities or traumas or past experiences where they didn't feel like they measured up, or where life expressed to them that they didn't measure up in some regard, would ultimately taint or sabotage, is what I hear, this expression of love, this expression of stability and commitment and prosperity. They just see so much in it. It's like life itself. And they feel like, if they mess this up, then what? It's like the ultimate gift that they want to handle with care, by way of you, mind you. Let's continue to bring it back to that. Like, they see the opportunity for sure for this harmony and balance in relationships to be their ultimate gift, but they see it by way of you. Like, you are the conduit of that expressive force of light. It doesn't really exist on their own, or they wouldn't be in anxiety in the first place. They'd be good. There'd be more of a Nine of Cups type of situation, or even a Nine of Pentacles, but this is Nine of Swords, because there's anxiety on account of wanting to have the whole thing, the whole 10. Remember I said it's a vibe times 10. They want that whole vibe. They recognize it as being complete in an infinite way, because this is like money that can't even be spent in a lifetime, but they also see it as a divine gift, like something that is eternal, And so there's that, as I said, right? But of course there's the adverse of that, where someone could be so could almost be a little bit obsessed in a sense, like literally sleepless nights about perhaps something that they missed out on with you. Remember, with that Six of Cups, it's about nostalgia, reminiscing past experiences with the potential to reconcile or not. It doesn't, Six of Cups doesn't always pan out depending on the energies as something that you should absolutely reconnect to. Sometimes it is the past trauma, that's something that you should actually release, let it be a Ten of Swords, and in that cycle, it could have actually even been the thing to contribute to your mental or psychological imbalance. And in that regard, you wouldn't want to return to that, and put yourself back in that position, like going from the 10 to the 9, regressing back into this state of anxiety and uncertainty and fear and just things that just are not productive at all. This energy doesn't ultimately lead to the 10 of Pentacles in a high vibration. Now, somebody that's thoughtful, and this, Ace of Pentacles is even like a proposal. Somebody that's thoughtful about the best time, which is also Pentacle energy, to offer this proposal. And it doesn't have to be like finite, like marriage, but it definitely does imply that, especially with the Justice card. Shit. These downloads are coming like they want to do this fast. That's why there's an anxiety, because they're feeling like their passion for you is overwhelming. You know what I mean? Like somebody has ended something major in their life, and they're just as quick to be able. They feel sustained and equipped in their own. More or less, like they feel like they want to just jump out and be with you. And they want to make it real. This is like justice of peace, of the peace type of vibes. They don't even want to do the whole marriage. We ain't even got to do a whole wedding thing unless you want that, baby. I just want to have your hand in marriage and it be official between you and I. That's the upside, okay? But again, as I was saying, I keep getting interrupted with the high vibe because perhaps that's where I'm supposed to stay, because in all actuality, in this cosmic climate, you may be faced with the choice of, like I said, the choice makes sense. Okay, I get it now. That's what the anxiety is about, because you may have different offers. You are the freaking Queen of Wands, shining like the damn sun, also with the vibration of the Empress. So why wouldn't you? And the potential of the 10 of Wands with the anointing of the Ace of Pentacles. So why wouldn't you have multiple offers? Of course you do. What am I talking about? There are many people that are dying literally to be a part of your world because they see the vitality that it offers. They want to bask in that light of your love. This is so crazy. It's amazing. They want it bad. Now, like I said, some people, it's a pure passion. Some of those offers, like I always say with the 7 of Cups, very few of them, if honestly, hard up to say if any of them really are that good. It's just depending on how you look at it. The only one that I actually see as like, and I think that's what it means, is like certainly high vibrational, is this reef, which to me signifies like peace. The rest of them are definitely toxic or questionable. You got a mushroom, you got a snake, you got a head. Like, why would you want somebody's head in a cup? I don't know. You got a dragon, you got these jewels that to me would somewhat look like they could be good, because who doesn't want jewels? Who doesn't want riches and wealth? But to me, it gives the vibes as everything that glitters isn't gold. So you got to be careful with that. And then you got this thing that looks like a sand castle, which you can't build a foundation on sinking sand, So even if it might be pretty and interesting to look at and to idealize, it's fantastical in a sense, and it's not really secure or supportive, So to me, the only cup, and, honestly, let me pick this up. Even with the cup that has the reef in it, by the way I'm reading it, and in the actual guide, it could be something different. But even the one that has the reef in it, as you see, there's like a little skull on that cup as opposed to any of the other ones, which is weird because the only one that and I've never seen that skull before, mind you, if you can get into it. But today I'm actually seeing that little face in that cup for the first time. If that's what it is, it looks very distinct from the other cups. And that's the one that I would choose, you know what I mean? So I don't know. Like, I don't even know what that says, you know, and this is given very like, you know, cosmic, galactic type vibes in the clouds and all that. So I could go even deeper on that I probably shouldn't, especially with the death card. Maybe this is a supernatural energy in that cup, and that's why it's the peace, and that's why it's the skull and the face, and it, you know, it's a very distinct offering that you could almost miss amidst all of the glamour of the other cups, the intrigue of the other cups, which is why it's most important for you as the receiver of said offers, now that we've made that clear, that you be very careful as to how you choose, because the ones that actually look, you know, reasonable, i.e. the jewels, and maybe the next best being the sandcastle because it's interesting, may not be what they appear. You know, that it might be an illusion, which is definitely respect to the Seven of Cups, that there could be some illusion or even delusion there that gets to be clear to make a proper choice, and that maybe the cup with the skull and is representative of spirit, of really being in discernment with yourself, your spiritual intel, and calling in that intangible guide of sorts, you know, whatever supreme source you submit to help make this decision with you and for you best, you know, in that regard. I don't think it really will make it for you, but it'll definitely assist if you call in the intel, as opposed to just jumping out at the first sign of, you know, something that looks like gold, you know, because clearly everything that glitters is not. So as I said, there's that, and with the regard of the adverse of this, which I won't stick on too long, just be mindful of those that are trying to present themselves as something changed and transformed from the past, that are really just anxious to be in connection to you vitally, because you do carry so much potential and so much prosperity, so many gifts and so many talents, and you're just a joy to be around. You make people feel good. You perhaps maybe make people feel brand new, and you make them forget about their troubles and their worries, and you bring balance and harmony to every experience, and let alone relationship or commitment, because that's also Libra energy here with actual relationships, you know, and the balance of that. Like, you're someone who would be an ideal partner to anyone, literally to anyone. The best and worst of all your options would have something great to benefit from connecting with you. It's on you to be discerning, to really allow the spirit to expose who is ultimately destined to be in partnership with. Okay, this is so good. Like, do you love this? I love this. I don't know. I hope people watch this one. I don't even know what the title would be, but sometimes I feel like lately, based on the views, let me get a sip. My throat's a little parched. Based on the views, I can't say that I'm seeing a lot of people really gravitate into more of the, dare I say, karmic or lower vibrational energies readings, you know, where there's some warning, or the title is clear that there's some conflict of sorts. And I'm down, like, I'm cool with it. I understand, because sometimes those catch my attention too. But I don't feel like, you know, people are really getting into the possibilities, you know, the propensity of love that is clearly impending at this time. You know what I mean? Like, I can feel it in my energy. I feel the shift. I feel it, you know, like, I feel it. I definitely feel it. Even if I don't see it with the Eight of Swords here, I feel it with the 10. You know, there's like this joy and happiness that I feel like has been imposed upon and like almost suppressed a bit by way of anxiety. And I know for sure for me by external interference that doesn't really benefit from me living in the truth of my happiness. They really want me to be living in that. The five of, can you see that? Let me make sure you can see that. They want this to be the truth based on the vitality that I admit that somebody doesn't, that's that adverse energy that I'm talking about here, where, and this is also you in the highest position to make logical, affirmative choices and decisions unapologetically without emotional attachment per se. You know, because as you notice, until we have this here 10 of Cups, which is more of the communion of this connection, the Queen of Wands is not really emotionally attached. She's passionate, but she's not emotional. You know, she's definitely incited by what excites her and what, you know, revs her up in some regard, which there's room for that too. But she, and the Empress, you know, we can definitely say that maybe the Queen of Cups is wrapped up in her, but she's not on the board. She was under the decks. So to me, that seems more, like I said, of what's how someone sees your potential, or the potential that you may have that you're not even aware of, to embody every prominent aspect of your character in a powerful way, right? And this is one of those as well with the Queen of Swords, who's very logical, very cerebral, intelligent, highly intelligent, very skilled in whatever craft or whatever thing she kind of puts her mind to. She has a lot to offer ultimately. And she, again, is unapologetic about the word no. She may not even say no, thank you. She's just going to say no, I'm not interested, type of thing. And so people in the adverse energy that feel like they either are threatened by such a vibration as this, you know, especially in the Queen of Swords vibe, or they feel entitled to it and maybe are on the outside looking in from it, again, as those energies that once had a connection or a commitment to you and maybe don't even anymore for whatever reason, whether it was you that disconnected yourself or just life moved on in a way that you just became disconnected, you know, evolved in such a way that that relationship doesn't exist in that same way anymore. There's this energy here that's like almost insistent and aggressive in wanting to reconnect, or I really feel less of a reconnection and more like somebody almost wanted to insert themselves into your happiness, you know, to impose themselves, infringe upon. If they can't insert themselves in, they want to infringe upon it and bring you into this Five of Pentacles state, like literally into a place of despair, and not just physical poverty, but spiritual poverty, spirit being weak and low, and you know, to see yourself even as this essence of lack, and you know, not something, definitely the opposite of the 10 and the Ace. You know, that's a stark comparison of the reality of who we've already determined you are, or whomever you are observing or stalking is. This is a double down. This is the advancement and aggression of that stalking energy, as a matter of fact. All jokes aside, you know, it's really not even a joking matter, because their objective, if they're in a position in the lower vibration to feel like they're out in the cold and that they've lost an opportunity, you're the one that got away, you know, they should have done something different to secure their position in your life, to secure this gift that you are. And maybe they had too many options and they picked the wrong one. You know what I mean? Maybe that's the reality that they're dealing with, or the reality that they're looking forward to, that they'll never find another one like you. Then some people, instead of just kind of like taking that on the chin, unfortunately, they get active and they want to, again, either impose themselves, almost force themselves into the picture, or they want to sabotage your expression of it and your experience of it by way of this Eight of Swords, pardon me, which both of these are like imprisonment cards. This is like, I would say, more, what would I say this is? I feel like they're both an expression of that, but this is like an imprisonment that it's almost hard for you to get out of. Like somebody actually might be in jail or going to jail with the Nine of Swords, and that's why they're stressed out. This is like their bunker and the bars on the cell, perhaps. The Eight of Swords is more so like a self-imposed, or at least self. It's like a spiritual imprisonment that you've made some type of agreement with. You've allowed someone to captivate your energy psychologically or mentally, maybe even maybe overthink. This is more overthinking to me, honestly, but maybe not being not allowing yourself to trust your mental prowess, not feeling like you can trust yourself to make decisions forward, so you keep yourself bound and blind, like you almost don't feel like you can move forward on your own accord, let alone see yourself to some happily ever after. Perhaps, like I said in the beginning, on account of some past experiences of failure or success that you're allowing to replay over and over, or you're allowing the projection of that to be a broken record in your life and to keep you captivated. Either way, it's something that you can make a shift in perspective, just as in that Ten of Swords, and realizing that cycle is over. You're not blocked, you're not bound, you're not measured by your so-called mistakes, or failures in relationships, the people that you've chosen to connect with, or to connect your energy with, or be share your light, benefit from none of it really matters in the grand scheme of things when you're being projected from a spiritual source that this is who you are and this is who you're empowered to be. Perhaps who you've always been, you just didn't know it, because there were energies that were invested in keeping you from seeing your highest potential, and because for the purposes of ultimately keeping you out of this fulfillment here, perhaps because they didn't feel they had a place in it. Or I'm also feeling like, definitely with this time, with the Ace of Pentacles, there's the energy, especially of past lovers, that maybe put you on the back burner, and that's why they stressed out too, because they thought you would always be there, waiting, willing, able to receive them with open arms, as long as they could keep you blocked and bound to the idea that they were the best thing for you, that you weren't ever going to do any better than them, what I mean? Even with all the choices that you may have had, that you couldn't have a happily ever after with anybody else but them. Even though ultimately it was a projection, because they knew that they couldn't have a happily ever after with anybody else but you. Go figure, So there's that energy that they thought you would always be sitting there waiting, eager, anticipating. And when they realized that you actually have moved on in the happiness in your own regard, and again, this doesn't even necessarily mean that you are in a relationship, although I hope that you are, and this is prosperous and fulfilling as this Ten of Pentacles and Ten of Cups, spiritually and energetically so, for sure. But it could just be you being happy and peaceful. Again, that peace cup, you took the road of peace. That was the option. Even when all the options, it was like the best of all the evils was to take peace, even if it caused, what I'm hearing, because that death card was here with the skull on the cup. The peace called for you to go through some transformation of yourself, to maybe even be less dependent on others for some fulfillment or satisfaction, and to also be transformed enough to actually experience yourself in the vibration that you actually emit purely, organically. So that's an explanation for that cup with the reef and the peace and the skull and all that. Just to double back on it, it just came out to me real quick. But yeah, they're seeing that this is, again, a missed opportunity, but this is the aggression out there going from just stalking. That was the distant observation, making sure you ain't have nobody else. No, you were still confused about where you stood with yourself, let alone with others, still perhaps even making poor choices for in love, with the Seven of Cups, and not ones that were matching your vitality, which of course they've already known, they just didn't want you to know it. And they were looking from a distance, and now they've gone into active mode, trying to see how they can either get back in or stop you from moving on without them. And this is you here in the Queen of Swords vibration, pulling out that logical, ingenious essence of you that's very direct and decisive of all of one of the characteristics of the Empress, of which you also are. Just all these reminders, mind you, that you can pull out that essence of you that says, no, it's too late and I'm not interested. I've moved on and I wish you the best, and I hope that you get whatever it is that you're looking for out there, or whatever you were waiting on to prove itself to you, or waiting to show itself to be better than me, because obviously the choices didn't quite measure up to what he thought he could, Some people, I feel like with past lovers, it's like they definitely thought they could do better than you. Maybe they didn't see your potential to some degree in that, and then they did, and then they took action to make sure you didn't see it, and want to kind of keep you on hold in a glass case, so that if in fact, like, what's that expression, like, in case of emergency type of situation, like here, with this, they want to break the case now and claim and stake claim on you, because they know now that your essence is clear to others. It's not just their dirty little secret, or sweet little secret, I should say. Now it's like other people definitely know, they see the value of you, and they want it, and they know that it's only a matter of time, that if people aren't already pursuing you, that they're eventually going to, that it's inevitable for someone in this regard to not end up in the fate of the Ten of Pentacles and or the Ten of Cups. That is being the gift of the divine and embody. There's no way that you're not going to project or attract that energy to yourself in your purest form, of course, So there's that, where some saw it, or they didn't know, or they figured it out too late, and that's what the rush back for, the aggression is for. And there were some that what was the disparity? Is some that didn't see it and they want to come back. There were some that did. There was something else I wanted to say about that. Dang, I'm not hearing it now. But it was very clear a second ago. If it comes back to me, I'll say. But for sure, there's some that didn't see it at first, but then they became aware and then wanted to make, to contain it. And then there's some that saw it, didn't want you to see it, and also don't want you to have any happiness outside of it. So it's like, okay. So it's like they don't even really want to be a part of this value, like some actually do want to harness this energy in some regard, but some really don't, is what I'm hearing. Like they don't even want to be a partner to your essence. They don't want to be a partner. They don't really want to be in connection, but they'd be damned if you perhaps are connected with someone else that could actually be better than you, to bring you to harmony that they refuse to, in some regard, or resist it in some way, shape, or form. That's even worse. That's even more diabolical. So not only this isn't just someone that's just afraid that they're going to miss out. They're just afraid that you're going to actually live a better life than either they do or have access to, or that they just never wanted for you to have. That's crazy. It's so real though, and it's ridiculous. What's this? But joke's on them. Joke's on them, because guess what? And I'm going to switch this because I have liberty too, and that's what I feel in my spirit. Joke's on them. You're already moving ahead to your Ace of Cups. You're already crossing it over into love fulfillment. Someone that is willing, like the ultimate cup of all your choices, is what this is giving me. The Seven of Cups to the Ace. Like, need I say more? And then we got the Emperor here. Who's that? My God, my God, my. Do you see this? Like, do you see what's going on here? This is the ultimate partnership. This is someone who is perhaps the one who's worried that he doesn't measure up. If this is you, sir, ma'am, or whomever, because it's not about it's not about man or woman, it's the energy, right? As I always like to say, you measure up. This is like can it get any better than that? The Emperor and the Empress on the same, that rarely happens. Okay, it just rarely does. Of 78 cards, it rarely happens that the Emperor and the Empress come up together. That's a phenomenon in itself. So there's that. Give me a second. But this is the love that's shared between them. This is the love that you're entitled to. This is the love that you're crossing over into regardless. Like, this guy, it's like he's attacking something that is not even, it's like out of his reach at this point. It's like he's going toward blocking this energy, but he's going the wrong way, because whatever he thinks he's attacking by way of this Ten of Cups, by what he can see, is lit. Like, this is spectacular. Like the Six of Swords is already a crossover moment to the Ace of Cups. Like, literally somebody crossing over into their destiny of divine love in the opposite direction of someone who is trying to oppress it, obstruct it, perhaps destroy it, even obtain it, steal it, and insert self into it. Any low vibrational aspect that you can give this Knight of Swords, because that's what he's given to me in this regard. And I guess in the best way possible, even if it is someone, like I said, that lets you get away, and now they see that they want to reclaim this missed opportunity and even conquer it. They feel entitled to it, exactly, in some way, shape, or form, because they've had a past connection to you. They're still coming in the wrong spirit, and not on the vibration of even you as a queen. They're, until the Emperor here, this is Knight energy. And in the direction that he's going in, to me, it just seems like the motivation is poor. It's not pure. It's poor, not pure. Yeah, pretty much. That perhaps even with that Five of Pentacles coming with the idea, in the lowest vibration, coming with the idea to project or impose some poverty or lack or insecurity onto you, it ultimately, as I said, is what he's carrying, is what he's coming with, or what he's afraid of experiencing on account of not having you, so either way, the intention is just all off. It's not really the difference here of your choices is between someone that sees the value of you all by yourself. It don't have nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with this person doesn't want to come up off of you exclusively for self, like they want to take more than they give. The anxiety is that they want to give you all that you're worth. And sometimes they question whether or not they measure up to that exchange, which obviously here the confirmation is that they do, and you do, whomever you are, either one listening. But that's a different type of vibration and frequency than somebody that's just afraid to like an opportunist, you know what I mean? That's afraid to miss an opportunity or a chance to come up, or something that they slept on and now they realized it probably would have been the best bet. You don't want to be nobody's prize in that regard, because someone that perhaps once upon a time may have even, if it was a past relationship that didn't work out on account of somebody not feeling worthy or not feeling like they had enough to offer, that's far more honorable and justified than somebody that just want to, and they leave you alone, to live your own life, to do your own thing. And they go and either try, like I said, try to transform, mature, grow, change their ways, be better for the better, that because they really feel like you deserve the best. That's a different vibration to consider than somebody that went away to play the field, live a life like, like a F-boy pretty much, that felt like, well, I'm gonna keep you on the back burner just in case. That's what I think I was trying to say in those comparisons, even though it dived into something even darker than what I was thinking. It's like some people actually thought that you weren't it, and it was like, she alright, you know what I mean? Let me go see what else is out there. And if in fact I can't find anything better, then I'll come back and see what's popping. You know what I mean? That's that lower vibrational energy here, where they thought they had plenty of choices, but what they found, they fucked around and found out, one of my favorite sayings, recently, that everything is not as it's cracked up to be. Every choice is not premium, and then they want to come back. And then when they realize that they actually don't have that luxury to come back and pick up where they left off, then they have a sense of entitlement, even anger. How dare they to impose poverty and despair onto you on account of what they can't have, or try to just force you to love them or connect with them. Not even love, because it's not that, but force you into a partnership on account of what they have to gain from it. Well, anyway, enough of him and that, or her, because it could be a feminine aspect too in this night energy, that she thought, she had it going on, and that you were the nice guy, you know what I mean? Like you didn't really have money like that. Maybe that was a thing with these pentacle energies here. Some females in their immaturity, the idea of the nice guy finishing last, they wanted the bad boys, the bad choices, the ones that really, excited them. We've all been there, so it's no judgment here. Trust me, we've all been there. Where you went for the exciting choice, not the safe choice, or the one that was stable and secure and that actually showed to you and expressed to you how amazing you are. That was too safe. He too nice is the term, So it can be feminine and masculine, or again, so just materialistic and not valuing material assets and wealth and things, like you chase the dollar, the doughboy, the one who was spending cash on that ass and all that good stuff over love, because you valued having, something to show for your time and your energy, whatever. Everybody's entitled to it. But to be now on the Knight of Wands trying to double back on something that has now ultimately just kind of evolved, out of your reach, is a missed opportunity in this regard. Now, clearly in a spiritual, high-minded essence of perspective, it's just not for you. You know what I mean? Like if you didn't think it was what you wanted then, and you perhaps have missed on that opportunity now, then that's just a sign that it just wasn't meant to be in the way that you thought it was, or in the way that you idealized it, one way or the other, And that's with the best of intentions and worst of intentions on the board, dare I say. So it's best not to be aggressive and insistent on trying to recreate the past or reclaim some past prize or possession on account of the opportunity to actually move forward and move ahead into a calm, peaceful existence, back to that cup, that is divine to you, literally divine to you with the Ace of Cups here. This is what is ordained to be yours. This is the spirit pouring down on you, not just in a spiritual sense, but actually in a material sense, the value of you. This is what you're worth, nothing less. You know what I mean? And you got the quantity of oh, this is amazing. Shoot, this is awesome. You got the quantity of life experience here with the well, more or less with the pentacles, but when I'm talking about quantity by way of the tens, which is 10, 10 on the board, endings and beginnings right there again. And then you got the quality of life that can only come from a spiritual essence. There's something that's immeasurable, but infinite in a sense as well. With the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups, you got it all. You literally have it all on account of making the choice that is the best prospect for you. And I believe that you are full as the Empress and the Queen of Wands with the Justice card, who has freed themselves from psychological bondage and has allowed themselves to continue to keep the perspective of the most prosperous future in light, that has held up the sword against those that might want to infringe upon that, and has looked forward to life even when past experiences weren't most favorable. This is you looking forward to a better future and allowing your spiritual nature to be carried into that future, even when you couldn't really see what was ahead of you. That's what this energy is about. You manifested this ultimately because you are the light of the sun. You are a son of the sun, a daughter of the sun, in whatever way you want to receive that. SON, SUN. You are a source of the most supreme source. You are an expression, if you can't receive that, of the most supreme source. But honestly, if you are of the source, what does that say about you? If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. Gods and goddesses, simply put, right here with the Emperor and Empress. This is the essence of you, that you've been ordained, like I said before, to be. And that goes back to that worship piece. Wow, I can't get into that no more because my incense been burnt out. So meaning that this message is burnt out in terms of over an hour, because it's definitely turned up. It ain't burnt out. And I hope that you made it this far because it's amazing. But it's like the divine, that is the reflection when I was saying like somebody really wants you to know how dope you are, like how amazing your glow, your essence, your vitality, your this, your that. Like they want you to see every aspect of you in this vibrancy of the sun, this vibrance of life force. They want you to know it, to be clear about it, not to measure yourself by your past experiences, successes or failures, but to see yourself presently as the sum of all, that you shine in the center of all of that. Just as the sun shines when it's gray and dark outside and it's shining somewhere else in the world, even when the moon is glowing on the other side, and it's always shining. It's never dim, it's never dull, it's never truly dark, And I feel like that's the spirit that wants to really drive home the point to us all, however you receive it, because I surely do today, that you do align. You are of high value. You are a match. You are a reflection of the Supreme Source. You're a child of the Supreme Source, and in a sense that you are coveted by Source and protected, not docile to, but divine of, if that makes any sense. That you are a gift, literally, of the universe, and therefore the Source and the universe, God, whatever you call it and submit to, wants to pour out onto you. It has anointed you already to be who you are, but it wants to pour its blessings out onto you and over you and through you in ways that you probably can't even imagine right now. So let me just see what's on the bottom. Yeah, there's some conflict and competition once again, but look, ain't that a bitch? By way of this adverse energy here. But as you can see, wait, is this right? Yeah, that's it. As you can see, all they can really do is look. And even if with their best intention or desire to be a conflict, create chaos, to create confusion, to infringe on your happiness, on your success, on the delight of your life, even on the very relationships you may be forming, platonically, intimately, personally, professionally, however it applies, however it does, receive it as such or let it fly, you know what I mean? It's on the outside. It's beyond you. Just as this energy here is going the wrong way, they think they attacking something that they can actually put their hands on or make some impact on. Meanwhile, you over here in a whole nother world, a whole nother dimension, living a whole nother reality on a whole nother timeline, in peace and in harmony. So it's just as simple as that. And the only thing that will be left for them to observe is their own inner conflict in the end, which is this energy right here in the lowest vibration. That's it. And soon they won't even be able to look at you, because they won't even be able to observe, those that are in a negative vibration where they're trying to be obstructive and destructive. It won't be nothing to look at, because they'll be too caught up in their own misfortune that they won't even have time or energy to see anything else or deal with any else. This is literally the inner conflict here that they'll be left to combat. You don't have time to really deal with anybody else or look outside of yourself, especially, my God, if you're actually inside of a prison cell or walls or some confinement of sorts, even if it's spiritually so. You're going to have way more important things on your hands than to be worrying about what the emperor and the empress is doing. And you should probably focus on that accordingly. Matter of fact, I ain't putting y'all down there with that conflict. Put y'all right here where you belong. Oh, hold on, let me switch them. This is nonsensical, but it's me. It's me. It's not you. It's me. But yeah, so that's that pretty much. So like I said, the divine wants you to know how amazing you are. That your spirit is just as tight as Chris Brown says. And maybe you are a nasty babe. I forgot that essence of it. That makes total sense in the reading now with the Queen of Wands, because you do have an essence about you that is sensual and dynamic in your sexual expression, and and that's vitality as well. So do not negate it or suppress it for the sake of anybody else's appeasement. That is also the harmony and balance of you. That's your creative force, that passion of you, that urge, and that in a pure form now, not perverted, but that urge of you, even in a sensual way, especially in connection with the partner, is absolutely fertile in a literal sense and productive in a prosperous sense, and in a what do you call it, in a figurative sense, more or less, a spiritual sense, I should really say. It's valuable all around. So again, there have been some imbalances in how you used your sexuality or your sensuality or exerted your passion before, but you've grown from that. Don't let anybody else contain you by those rights, because I'm sensing that now, even though I'm trying to close this up, but I'm sensing that past projection as people trying to make, at the worst of it, trying to make you feel guilty or feel ashamed for your passionate self, like you a hoe. You know what I mean? Or like mistakes or misjudgments or mismanagements or just choices, god dang. Whatever you chose to do with your energy at some point in time was the justice of you to do so. And every bit of it has led you to the very presence of your vitality now. So Spirit is saying, if I don't judge you, no man can judge you. That's what I hear very clearly. That everything that you have experienced and even perhaps even created for yourself has been justified for the maturation of and evolution of your vitality in its most vivacious form right here and right now. So don't let anybody impress upon you verbally, energetically, mentally, psychologically, or otherwise, any type of guilt or shame or resistance to your natural self, the expression of you that is sensational and is sensual and is va-va-va-voom in any regard. If they're offended by it or intimidated by it, that's their business, not yours. Your business is in the way of shining your light as unapologetically as you possibly can, because that is what the Spirit is inviting you to do, okay? Receive it as you will, masculine and feminine alike. You are worthy. You do match up. You do have what it takes to maintain a vital relationship, a union that is whole, complete, stable, secure, that definitely by this regard has the potential to last and be stable, that can last eternally, as I've said, and be fulfilled all the while. Not just people that just struggling together and making it work for appearances. These are two people that love being together, and they are energized by each other. They enjoy one another's company. They are engaged in the safety and protection and prosperity of one another individually and collectively. That's something that the Spirit, those partnerships, those divine unions are what Spirit is calling into play, because it's time for those energies to come together to change the trajectory of the world, to literally change the creative consciousness of what's to be expected in love. And one more thing, back to the point of what I was saying about people don't seem to be as engaged in love. I think it's on account of a depressed hope and faith for it in its fullest form, where people can relate to the toxicity of life as they've been experiencing it, because that's more tangible and it's the focal point right now. But start to recondition your energy to be expectant, first of all, of this vibration. And if you don't feel that expectation, then start to call in that transformative energy and that death card to start to shift your perspective of where you might be sabotaging yourself from actually attracting this very vitality into is what you deserve. So maybe there's a blockage that you are aligning with as to what you aren't worthy of, or what you haven't been able to have in the past, or where you misstepped, or just the bleak choices that you can see in your actual sight, in a physical sense. The Spirit wants to reward you with something deeper and greater than that, because it recognizes you as a divine love. And so therefore you are worthy to receive that. So to the point of people really gravitating more to the karma, start to shift, at least find some balance in opening your heart to the possibilities of love in a very creative sense. The karma is destructive, in a lot of ways, in the ways that it's being pushed out and projected, especially in tarot land. It's intriguing and it's great to watch, and even informative and enlightening in a lot of ways, because some people don't even realize what they've been connected to, let alone committed to in their lives, So there's value in it and enlightenment there. But if you're not taking the lesson of the experience and allowing it to fuel you into some new possibilities of creativity, you're just continuing the same cycle that it imposed in the first place. So take the intel, but invest it in something that is more vital and vibrational, less vile, more vitality, So that's it. I'm done. I could say so much more, because this reading definitely it gave me a different boost than what I even came in with. I told you, I've been feeling the vitality. I feel the energy, and if you are intentional, even if you don't feel it, just like the sun, when it's not shining, when you can't see it, it's shining. So if you can be intentional about connecting with that vitality of love and peace and joy and fulfillment, really starting to reconnect with the things that you want to create in your life. Go back to old notes, write some new notes, write some affirmations, speak some affirmations. Focus on the intention of staying in that vibration. And I'm certain that this energy is going to show up any day now in a physical, materially manifested form. Okay, and good luck to you in that regard. Much peace and prosperity, longevity and love, light and luxury to you all that are willing to receive it. All right. As always, thank you for listening. I know this is going to be a little bit longer, but certainly thank you to all those that stuck in there. I appreciate you. And I hope you appreciate this message. If you did, if you do, if you claim this in the highest vibration for yourself, definitely hit that like button, please. It encourages me, and it encourages the seed to be fertilized in your life, especially if you found some connection to the information or the message here today. So do certainly subscribe. I'm loving the growth in our family, our my soul tribe here, as I'm coming to know you. I appreciate your presence here. Thank you for listening and watching. And till next time, as always and forevermore, I leave you with Peace.